the smallest pixel of our reality, they kind of measure it. If we zoom into the smallest scales of the universe, we find pixels and frame rate. If we just keep zooming in more and more to the scales smaller than atoms, we reach an entirely new domain of physics where our intuition completely breaks down. At this scale, particles don't even definitively exist in space and time. Their position and velocity is inherently uncertain, and that's not a problem with our measuring devices. It is built into the very nature of quantum particles. They just are uncertain. Now, if we just keep zooming like as far as we can go, we reach a limit of how small a distance can be. This is the Planck length.
Okay. After Max Planck, I guess.
Yeah, and if we try to observe something smaller than the Planck length, it would require so much energy that we would create a black hole.
Ooh.
The universe prevents you from being able to measure anything smaller than this distance. So all we need to do is define a cube with the side lengths of the Planck length, and we have our 3D universal pixel. Crazy, right? Remember, nothing travels faster than light. So if we measure the amount of time it takes light the fastest speed to travel the Planck length, the shortest distance, we get the Planck second. This is our universal frame rate. What if the key to interstellar travel is to unlock that Planck length? What's going on, man?
Yeah, what's going on? That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, dear old guy, Mother Earth still going through major shedding of skin and transition with all these earthquakes and volcanoes and tsunamis and things. I think it's pretty exciting, you know. Bit scary, but mainly exciting as far as I can see.
Are we there yet? Doomsday?
No, I don't know about this doomsday thing. We may get to a point where things get to a climax of horror or toughness or something. Yeah, that's possible. But I'm not sure that it's a done deal. I really don't. But then I don't know more than anyone else. I'm just kind of guessing. But from what I have seen of recent events, we humans do have some degree of influence over what happens. I think if we shape up and, you know, increase our consciousness, get to be a bit more decent people, in some way that seems to reflect in what's happening on the planet too. It's not the whole deal, of course, but I'm pretty sure that, you know, we are part of the deal too. I don't know what else is happening.
I like your positivity. I like your optimistic point of view.
Yeah, well, it's based on a few happenings, which I don't think we should go into here, but it's not just optimism, it's observation too, you know. Then, of course, we've got all sorts of funny political stuff happening with Mr. Putin and Mr. Trump fluffing around in Alaska and Zelensky zooming off to Washington, and I would love to think something good will come of that.
I'm sick of it. I'm not following.
You're very wise.
I mean, I've heard the meaning like, oh, everybody says it's Trump being like a fanboy of Putin and this and that. I was like, okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm not that interested myself either. I don't think that's the issue, really.
I clocked out.
Yeah, well, you're probably quite wise there.
Yeah.
But I think what's happening on the Earth is important and exciting, and yeah, I think we're experiencing, for us anyway, a really major event that doesn't happen too often. You know, I mean, astrologically, I'm talking about shifting from the Piscean age, which is just finishing, to the Aquarian, which is just getting underway. And if I got my facts right, it's 26,000 years now of good stuff. Harmony, love, and understanding, as the hippie said. But we got to get there first. We're not there.
Exactly. For that to happen, we need to gain like some type of personal perspective on stuff.
Yes.
And by personal perspective, I mean like doesn't matter what's happening in the world of politics or like I don't know this big influencer or this big social media icon or whatever what they say. Like you have to have your own understanding, kind of your own research, kind of like read between the lines.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the bullshits that, all the propaganda and shit that try to confuse you, and like build a set of values and like live your life.
Yes, well
live
said.
your life to fullest.
Bravo.
And like enjoy it. And at the end of the day, like don't take shit too serious. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Even the scariest stuff is knowledge sets you free. So knowing things shouldn't scare you.
Well, I would say that what you just mentioned, that is the positive outcome potentially of all the lies and propaganda that we're getting thrown at us in greater and greater quantities.
We get immune against all those bullshits.
Well, yes, that too. But I mean, it forces us to look inwards and say, okay, what's real for me? What does the heart say is real? Because I mean, in the end of the day, that is what's real for all of us. What is real for us in the heart?
True.
So I thank all this propaganda bullshit and Trumpisms fluffing around, because it to me it really has if we're half wise, it strengthens us to really believe in ourselves. I think you're saying the same thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Just to because in previous episodes we talk a lot about Khazarian mafia, this, that, reptilian, and it's like it makes things like unclear and like uncertain, and then you're like, okay, what am I left with? Just bunch of scary thoughts, not knowing who's orchestrating my reality. But those are the outside forces, but everything comes from within you.
Yes.
So if you sort that out, like everybody, sort that out and like focus on, okay, these are my values. I want to live my life like this. I don't want to give into like bad thoughts, evil thoughts. And as you said, like peace, love, and understanding. And then first of all, you see the fruits of your thoughts in your life. And you receive the same kind of energy that you put out in the world. So that's the personal part that you're going to gain.
Yeah.
But like if I change myself, you change yourself, everybody else changes themselves. It's going to be, you're going to see, as they say, like be the change that you want to see.
Bravo.
So,
yes.
And that's going to solve the problem without any big intervention from, I don't know, guys upstairs or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
it's
taking it to our own hands.
Yeah, and in line with what you're saying, I think it's really good to remember that how we see the world is colored by our fears and everything that we are, and so the more we understand what we are made up of, positive and negative, the more clearly we're going to see something closer to real reality, if you like. For example, if someone is neurotic and afraid of really facing themselves fully, then that's what they're going to see in everyone else and in the rest of life. If that person takes time to sit down and say, okay, this is me. These are my not so good sides, and I'll deal with those. And these are my strong points, and I'll use those more. Well, then you're going to see the world differently, completely differently.
Yeah, true.
So I think that what you said is so important, for the whole planet. It starts with us. We evolve, the cosmos evolves.
Yeah, as I said, like if we know our place in this whole cosmic play, then we understand like the only thing that we can control is our own feelings, our own intuitions, our own thoughts. And for even that, we have to practice shitload of different methods to be able to control our thoughts, to be able to be present at the moment, to be able to actually gain some perspective on stuff instead of just like being played by your emotions, not knowing why you feel the way you feel. Because people are like that, and some really need help with it. They cannot,
I
fix
think
it by themselves.
We do. Most of us need some help or benefit from help. I know I sure do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Some can have it self-developed. Like they don't need like go to therapy or whatever.
Oh, of course.
It doesn't hurt. But I don't know. Like for me, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna just focus on things that go wrong. I'm not gonna focus. Whenever I think about past, I'm just thinking about the good stuff that happened to me that made me improve myself. And even though the bad stuff, I'm like, okay, yeah, it just made me who I am now, you know. So, and I choose to not become bitter and like, mean and evil. So
yes, good.
And moving forward, I always feel like, okay, it doesn't matter how much progress I make, it's still taking a smaller step forward. So if you have that feeling within you, you don't take shit so serious. It's like you don't. Oh, but this happened, man. This is like set me back. Oh, fuck that. It's like you just look for the stuff that are not right, and you have this ideal version of life that you want to live, and anything shorter than that, you're like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck my life.
A bit of detachment is always a very powerful starting point to see ourselves as we would from outside.
Especially when you deal with something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because people think like, oh, well, what about if you have a bill to pay and it's due day and you don't have money? How are you gonna? It's like exactly that. At that moment, you need to detach yourself from it, to be able to find a solution. If you're just getting like, you're just sinking lower.
Yes,
and you drown yourself in it. So yeah, because sometimes I say stuff and. Because I know where I come from, but people don't know it. People think, oh, this guy is like all the podcast is making money. But they don't know like a real struggles that we go through or anybody goes through. So it's not like I'm talking about a safe, stable place. No, I have
of course.
like shitload of struggles that I go through daily. But it's just like. Because some people like have a version of life like, okay, if I reach that level that I set as a goal for myself, then I'm going to leave. Then I'm going to do then I'm going to experience life, go to places or this or that. And it's like always there's something needs to take place for them to be able to like actually experience life. But the life is not about that. The life is like whatever you have in your in front of you.
Yes.
On your plate
at the moment,
you have to eat it.
Yeah,
and you have to make the best out of it. And if you do that, you're going to make better things coming your way. You're going to make it, you're going to open up those doors for yourself. Yes. And even if there is nothing happening like in the next week or next month or next year, at least the time that you spend it in a good mood and good way. And you weren't miserable the whole time. So these are the things that I'm going through myself, and I'm like, okay, yeah, well, whatever. I don't feel shit about my life. You know, I see like I'm moving forward.
Yeah,
I'm learning.
absolutely.
I'm learning things. I'm moving forward, and find a way to feel that way wherever you are in your life, whatever you do, whatever career, whatever vision, whatever dream you have. Try to like make it so you feel like you're making some progress towards that, however small. Then you're going to feel better. It's mostly happening up here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I know one thing that helps me very much with that is learning to really, it's a bit of a cliche now, but it's a good one, just really being present in whatever is happening without judgment. So, for example, yesterday I was taking a bus home and I missed the bus that I had to change buses. I missed the second bus by seconds. So I was sitting down there going, ring around, grumble. No, wait, back up, Lyle. Hey, you got 21 minutes to sit here and just be. And about a minute later, this little African boy came down and sat beside me. He said, hello, would you like some bubblegum? And blah, blah, blah. Really interesting guy, 9 years old, you know. And somehow, I don't know if he would have come anyway, but I felt when I decided, no, I'm here in this moment. I'm going to enjoy this time and really love it. And then he turned up and we had a fantastic 21 minutes. 20 minutes. And then we took a bus ride together too. Somehow, you know, just switching back into that, really being present with whatever seems to attract even better things too.
There's a saying that says, what is it? Expectations are the thief of joy.
One more time. Yeah, the thief of joy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Gee, that's profound. I think you should start writing this stuff down.
No. I heard it. It's not mine.
It doesn't matter. Well, you can pretend, you know, whatever.
Yeah, but it's very true. Like you set up so high expectations of yourself that even when you do good, and you should really be satisfied with it, you lose the ability to enjoy it because you're like, oh no, but I didn't do this.
Yeah.
And if you have that perspective, you're fucked. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nothing will
It'll never
satisfy
work.
you.
Never
Nothing
work.
will give you the fulfillment, the pleasure that, I've done it. And of course, it's good to push sometimes, to push and finish something.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, you know, if you set a goal for yourself, it's good to achieve it 100%. But then if you don't achieve your goal, always remember that you set your goal so high that even if you achieve 50% of it, it's fucking good enough. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Like you always kind of overpromise, underdeliver, but it's still good. But I mean, that's not a good. That's not a good motto to have. Like it's always underpromise, overdeliver. Yeah. But for yourself, because it's between you and you, it doesn't matter. Like you have to have self-forgiveness and self-realization. Like, okay, yeah, I'm still making some progress, and that's the whole fucking point. It's not a fucking 100-dash run. It's a marathon. You have to pace yourself. One day better, one day a little worse, one day more, one day less. But you're still making your way towards your goals and whatever vision you have for your life. Anyway.
Brilliant. Well said. I loved a bit about about, what was it about expectations of the thief of joy? So what you
Yeah,
say?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Now we know what not to do.
It's hard though. It's hard though. You always have expectations on yourself, on people around you, but you have to realize at the end of the day, if people around you or yourself didn't meet your expectations,
Yeah.
then you should realize like, okay, I have to accept it. It's all right.
I would like just to finish on that point, a little backup to what you're saying. It's a good dose of gratitude too. Really keeps you in the moment, keeps you humble, keeps you out of expectations. Mainly out. Can still slip into them. But to me, gratitude is real powerhouse of being present.
Hey, you should find a sweet spot, like a balance between pushing yourself towards your goals and understanding the setbacks. Like, okay, I expect to make this progress today, or like do this, have these tasks done by whatever hour.
Oh, of course.
And if you achieve that goal, good. But if you like achieve 70% of it, is it still good? You know?
Always
You
good
have
to
to
say.
accept it. That's what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. But then maybe look at the situation and say, okay, how can I do better next time?
Yeah.
You know, then it's not in the, oh, I've failed. It's the, oh, wow, what have I learned for tomorrow?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a huge difference. So
Anyway, let's see our place in this whole cosmic play. I like to call.
Let's do that.
I use the twice cosmic play.
I love a big picture.
They're here. They're here for us.
Oh, that was cool.
Like get them. They get to the cosmic play. Get them.
Get them before they blab.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we talked about Kardashev scale before in our
We
podcast.
have mentioned it.
Yeah, and
But
we
I'm
mentioned.
not sure
it is.
in that greater detail, but we definitely have, yes.
Yeah, it's interesting because before my understanding was that we are at 0.7. That we are like so close to be type 1 civilization. I mean, so close, but like, you know. But now I realize we are.
You forgot a little point.
That little point. That's a setback. So we are like, for us even to reach the 0.1, we need like shed load of energy.
Yes.
We need to be able to manipulate or captivate, I don't know, the whole planet's energy.
Yes, of course.
Literally, the whole planet's energy.
Yeah.
Type 1 civilization is planetary civilization.
Yes.
So they're able to use all the energy that planet has to offer.
Yeah. Actually, just going back to where we started this podcast, talking about the change from Piscean to Aquarian, from where I'm sitting, to me, this is this monstrous thing. And it is monstrous. But in the big picture of things, it's probably 0.000001% or whatever. Yeah, it's cosmically a tiny little blip. But for us, it seems, or for me anyway, it seems unimaginably vast in our evolution.
Yeah, I just want to point out the Kardashev scale, different type.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. I think it's 9 types. I'm not sure, but we're just gonna mention.
And we're down in the doo-doos.
Each one. Yeah.
Yes, fair enough.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah, if you can make the text a little bigger.
Yeah. All right.
Humans, we're only at about 0.73 on the scale. And moving up, even 0.1 takes tens of times more energy. At our current pace, it could take thousands of years to get there. Type 2 stellar civilization. This level harnesses the full power of their star. They travel between planets, mine entire worlds, and build megastructures like the Dyson sphere, a colossal shell capturing nearly all the star's energy.
Yeah, I was thinking about Dyson sphere last night.
Okay.
I couldn't remember the phrase, but I was like, yeah, those. I was explaining for a friend. Yeah, type 2, they harness the star's energy and this and that. But I couldn't remember the structure's name.
I'm
Dyson
wondering
sphere.
if maybe this is what the Atlanteans and Egyptian cultures were capable of doing.
Well, in that case, we should have seen the Dyson spheres around sun. Because Dyson spheres are this ring of metal.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Don't forget that. Just a thought.
Yeah, maybe they were like doing with other star systems, like somewhere else.
Yeah. It's very possible.
Which is not efficient. Like if you have to travel that far, or
actually, looking at this stuff, it'd be good to remember it's a bloody huge cosmos.
yeah,
It's easy to be little centered on little Earth, but we've got to keep the very big picture of this.
true. Okay, let me read it.
Yes.
Type 2 stellar civilization. This level harnesses the full power of their star. They travel between planets, mine entire worlds, and build mega structures like the Dyson sphere, a colossal shell capturing nearly all a star's energy. Some may even hide their star's light to avoid attention, following the dark forest idea because revealing yourself in the cosmos might be a death sentence. Always. There is that element to it, Type 3, galactic civilization. With faster than light travel, they roam the galaxy freely, meet other civilization, and can literally move planets or build new star systems.
Whoa.
So they can create a star system.
That's cool.
Galactic.
Yeah, I like to do that.
Yeah, I want to be galactic.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, let's jump a few points, eh?
Yet, to a type 4, they're still like ants. That's a little disrespectful, but okay. Type 4 universal civilization. They understand the deepest laws of physics, create wormholes, tap the energy of the entire universe, and attack enemies by collapsing higher dimensions into lower ones.
Ooh.
So they control dimensions. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Their consciousness may no longer need a body at all. So you're in contact with some of these.
Yes.
Well, you mentioned it, like they can destroy everything if they want to, but they're not.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Or create.
Yeah. So if you want to categorize Xintian and who was the other one? Guanggang, and there was another one, Petrus.
Oh, there's a whole mass of them. But yes, those are my three main contacts. Yeah.
Those are the three that I know about.
Yeah, they would be definitely type 4.
All of them?
Yeah. Xintian's job is construction. So most definitely, when I say Xintian, he is just the head of billions of beings. But he's just my contact point. And he will then go and work with the construction of energy projects. And I'm one of the ones that help him.
Cool.
One of billions, just so you know.
Billions on Earth, or?
Yes.
So there are billions of people like you on this planet right now?
No, there are very few with physical bodies. The rest come from other realms.
Okay.
Yeah, they're here to...
If you want to estimate how many people with physical body are involved in this project, you can explain the project first.
All right. Well, my job is being a link between the third dimension and the higher dimensions. The third dimension being here where we're sitting now, with time and with space. Other dimensions, the different rules. So, Xiantian is here. Xiantian and his workers are here to help this planet move consciousness from third dimension state to fifth dimension.
The transition.
The transition, yes. And my job is to help that take place. And the fact that I'm here with a physical body, this seems to be a big help for them. Because I have this physical body, I'm capable of doing stuff they can't. And the specific stuff is, well, my first task was to work with what you could call, I guess, acupuncture points for the planet. It's where energy flows in. And my first job was to visualize, they look like beams of light, different colors, that come from the eternity and go down to infinite smallness, and that they meet at the center of the earth. So my job is just to purely visualize that form that they show me. I'm showing a picture of how this will be. So I then create the picture, and they then come in behind me and energize, pour energy into these kind of tubes in different colors, different speeds, different frequencies. But the purpose of that is to actually bring in the fifth dimension energy into this third dimension planet. So my job is visualizing, if you like. So sort of like an energy architect.
Yeah.
But I just do what I'm told. There's not much creativity from my side. I just get shown what to do and do it. And I have to update them quite regularly.
Okay, put a pin on that eternity to the smallest point. We're going to get back to.
Yeah, we will. That's okay. So that was a good little sidetrack, but a relevant one, I think.
Where were we? Type 5 or type 6?
Not the 5, I think.
Yeah. Okay, type 5, multidimensional civilization. They exist in multiple dimensions at once. They can erase galaxies, rewrite timelines, and keep the entire cosmic order in balance. If ancient myths of gods were real, they might have looked like this.
I think that...
And sorry.
No, you go ahead.
By the way, the 15-dimensional time matrix that we're gonna soon release,
yes, yeah,
that touch on the same subject too. Yeah,
well said, Moni. Yeah.
All right.
I was just gonna say, I think 4 and 5 are pretty
similar.
Yeah, maybe different levels of the same.
I think when you get out of the 3 dimensions, then it's all like,
all hell
for us it's like hard to differentiate between like,
yes.
Oh yeah, you destroy galaxies or universes, or you destroy dimensions. It's like there is no, we cannot comprehend.
Yes, but only on Sundays.
Oh yeah.
But it's true, Moni.
It's funny that you say on Sunday because God supposedly rested on Sunday.
Throw that in. But it's true. When we get outside of third dimension, there's different rules for everything. It's true.
It feels like we're in, I don't like to use the term prison, but we are bound by so many laws and rules.
We are
here.
Yeah. But here comes the sidetrack, but I think it's an important one. We are here for very specific reasons. And it's a great honor for souls to come here. This is not really a punishment at all. It can seem like it because we get our consciousness restricted. And that's deliberate. It's not really wrong. We get to experience time and we get to experience distance, space. And which gives us the ability to focus on things we want to do or experience much more easily than when we move out beyond these dimensions. So we're in a good place here. Just that we really, stick to what we're here to do, to learn.
Yeah.
But I mean, having said that, I love all this other stuff too, getting memories back of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm honored to be part of this third dimensional experience, but I really want to get out of it. My pleasure, but I want to get out of it.
Well, that's probably part of the being here too, taking us back to source, as it were. Yeah. But with a higher level of understanding of ourselves and life.
True. All right. Type 6. Type 6, multiverse civilization. These beings aren't bound to just one universe. They slip between realities, rewrite physical laws, and exist as a fusion of energy and matter, effectively immortal.
I would like to say that I think we've all experienced that. Just because we're here on this limited third dimension doesn't mean we haven't been to or been a part of the higher dimensions either. I know that for sure. I've spent a lot of lifetimes, if you could call them that, in the Pleiades group of stars, as a lot of people that are called light workers have that are here now to make this change. I mean, that's quite normal. Probably most of us have already some experience of these other places. So just because we're here in little third dimension doesn't mean that this is totally foreign to us.
True. Okay, type 7, the architects. No form, no limits. They control everything from the smallest particle to the largest cluster of galaxies. They can create universes or erase them in an instant. Every dimension, every rule of existence is there to command. The Kardashev scale, proposed in 1964 by Nikolai Kardashev, is just a theory. But the question remains, are such civilizations really out there? Or are we truly alone?
Poor little us, stuck in our third dimension prison.
So, yeah.
That's fantastic. And, the thing is, it's such a huge cosmos that some of that's certainly true, exactly that. But probably a lot of it's not quite like that. Who knows? But certainly the degree that the idea of different dimensions with absolutely, yeah, I know that's for real because of my work.
Yeah, I think that his point of view was a little more, as the scale gets bigger, just like give them more ability.
Yeah.
Like multiverse, universe, galaxies, planetary.
Yeah.
So
it probably doesn't end there either.
No. But it makes sense. Like if you're able to control the multiverse, then you should have great abilities.
Yeah.
Advanced technology or whatever. But I think it's a right way to think about. It's not 100% accurate, but it's a right
the concept. Yes.
Yeah, the
definitely.
concept is like, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Kardashev.
Yes.
Whatever it was.
I don't know what he's been on when he figured this out. But yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So this was interesting that I came across. The smallest pixel of our reality, they kind of measured it. I mean, the frame rate of our reality and this like 1 pixel. Like right now we recording on 30 frame per second.
Okay, yeah.
And 1 pixel and 4K. So I don't know the 1 pixel, what's the resolution of 1 pixel, but it's pretty small. But they figure out that, okay, I'm going to read it.
Sure.
If we zoom into the smallest scales of the universe, we find pixels and frame rate. if we just keep zooming in more and more to the scales smaller than atoms, we reach an entirely new domain of physics where our intuition completely breaks down.
Yes.
This is quantum physics.
Yes.
It's so counterintuitive that at this scale, particles don't even definitively exist in space and time. Their position and velocity is inherently uncertain, and that's not a problem with our measuring devices. That's the thing that I mentioned, like we shouldn't take things so serious. Like at the bottom level, it's just a chemical soup that we are part of, you know? And we think, oh, my problems, my life. It's like, dude, at the bottom, we are all like, you know.
Look, honey, you're just chemical soup, baby.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
You're just a piece of carrot. Yeah. And that's not a problem with our measuring devices.
Yeah.
It is built into the very nature of quantum particles. They just are uncertain. Now, if we just keep zooming like as far as we can go, we reach a limit of how small a distance can be. This is the Planck length.
Okay. After Max Planck, I guess.
Yeah. Physics, as we know, it breaks down at any distance smaller than this. And if we try to observe something smaller than the Planck length, it would require so much energy that we would create a black hole.
Ooh.
So that's the limitation. That's the limitation set by whatever force that create this reality.
Yes.
Like you're not allowed to go smaller than that. And that might, all the answers might be there.
We'll get back to that point soon. Yeah. Okay.
The universe prevents you from being able to measure anything smaller than this distance. So all we need to do is define a cube with the side lengths of the Planck length, and we have our 3D universal pixels. Crazy, right?
Yes. Short-circuiting starting to happen. This is a good sign.
So all we need to do is to define a cube with the side lengths of the Planck length, and we have our 3D universal pixels and frame rate. Because the distance that light travels between those points is the frame rate. Remember, nothing travels faster than light. So if you measure the amount of time it takes light, the fastest speed, to travel the Planck length, the shortest distance, we get the Planck second. This is our universal frame rate. So the Planck length and Planck second is the smallest measurement that we have of our reality that can we can create over the 1 pixel based on that.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Can I jump in here with my little hoo-ha now?
Let's just finish it and then give me your take.
That Planck second and Planck distance, that's length, that means yes. Got an idea about it.
Now, while it's a little different to this frame rate, it's similar in the sense that it is a fundamental limit to our universe on how quickly something can change. Now, I know you're probably thinking simulation theory, like that's the first thing that you go to. It's like, oh, so simulation theory, like, yeah, it makes sense that we have a pixel frame rate, all that. Well, we cannot know for certain. And besides, simulation theory just kicks the can down the road. I mean, if we are in a simulation, who's simulating the simulation?
Exactly. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, to give you some type of perspective on it, the Planck length is so small that the amount of them that could fit across one of your brain cells is roughly equal to the amount of your brain cells that could fit across the observable universe.
Oh, that's small.
That's small.
Yes.
So it's not like or we cannot go smaller and it's like still visible or anything like that. It's super small. But there's probably way to go smaller that we don't have the understanding of.
Yes, I'm sure.
So
Why have limits? I mean, no, that's not what I mean. Yeah, it is. Why should there be a limit?
exactly.
That's what I meant to say.
All right. So now let's hear your take on it.
Yeah, well, I want to go back to my first project that I mentioned earlier in this podcast, creating like pillars of light that start off, there's very slightly conical. So, yeah, I don't know. At the Earth's surface, there might be 10 meters wide, maybe. They're all a bit different. And then they go down to the center point of the planet and they keep going. One would think that's where you would stop, but they don't. And they keep going what seems like forever. But this is the point about the Planck length. There comes a point when the infinite smallness is instantly infinite largeness. It's the whole cosmos in the same instant. And I don't have the mental capacity to understand that or even get near it, but I experience it each time I make one of these pillars or update it. I'm going down and down and down and down and down and down and bang, then I'm the whole cosmos.
Isn't it like how that it feels like you're describing Big Bang?
Yes, that's what I was afraid of.
So is that like as you go smaller and it gets kind of denser and it gets to the density that it creates another Big Bang and it gets bigger again?
That's how it feels. I'm not aware of any bang, as it were.
Well, it's not necessarily need to sound anything.
But no, of course. But the thing is that I don't think we have the capacity to understand. This is
let's just use the analogy of a keyhole.
All right.
As you get closer, it gets smaller, and if you go through it, then it gets bigger.
Yes, that's it. But it's.
So wait a second. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
It's okay.
Is that like work as a portal?
I don't know. It just
almost
happens.
like function as a portal.
Yes, I suppose it is a sort of portal. But the point when it changes from infinite small to infinitely large is hard to pinpoint. It's just suddenly there. And remember, it's happening not in third dimension, so it's other rules. And when we try and put third dimension rules on it, I think we're going to have a short circuit permanently in our limited brains. But that's what I experience, and that's why I think it's very interesting about the Planck length. Maybe that is a physical relation to Planck length and that transition point when suddenly I'm conscious of the whole cosmos. And then it comes back to that pillar, the other end of that pillar, if you like. Yeah, I get a bit dizzy just thinking about this, dude. But it's so exciting to experience it, for real.
What if the key to interstellar travel is to unlock that Planck length?
Yeah,
and you can
could be
from that go to, I don't know, to like end of the edge of the universe or interstellar travel.
The only thing is that there isn't actually any real distance when we leave here.
No, not necessarily go through another dimension, but to travel.
Oh,
but not to travel the distance. Travel the
yes, I know,
concept of reality, concept of this world physical world that we're experiencing. Go to the, like, you break out of it, and like the others, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe wormhole, portal, wormhole. These are the concept. That's what they say to create the wormhole. I don't know. You have to talk to a physicist. But I think wormhole, that's why it takes, I don't know. It says it's possible, but you need like energy of the sun to be able to do it.
So you mean I've been making 18 wormholes in this poor little planet?
Probably.
Oh dear.
Get him.
I got a list of them if you want to know where they are.
So that was interesting, yeah. I mean, I'm so dumb to talk about this stuff. I have no knowledge, but
I don't think we have the capability, seriously, to comprehend it, because we don't know the rules of the other dimensions. We can only see them from here. And that's, strangely enough, part of the reason we are here is to have a little limited focus on things, you know. Maybe it's to stretch us back so that we do understand the other dimensions more and more.
Yeah.
I'm often very puzzled why, for example, I got this job to work in other dimensions when I'm a three-dimensional being too, you know, and supposed to be getting on with my stuff here. But this has become my most important work now, you know. I mean, that project's just one of very many, and there are more coming up. So when I'm in the other dimensions, I do understand, but I can't bring it back here.
Maybe you're a surgical tool. Sorry, I call you a tool. But if you think about it,
it's possible.
Surgeon cannot, with the hand, like if a brain surgeon try to do things, entangle things with his hands, then it's gonna fuck things up. But with like a very sharp and very thin tools, it gives it like focus and accuracy that it needs.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Probably
Thank you.
Bad analogy, but
no. That's not a bad. That's a good analogy. Absolutely. That's
you're a
brilliant.
vessel.
Yeah,
vessel, not tool. Vessel.
Well, I mean, that's my value to the beings in other dimensions, is that I am here in the physical form. It's not any other talent. More than that, it's easy for me to communicate with them. But what I would like to bring up, maybe at this point too, is when this sort of knowledge becomes every day, how does it help us live our life? And how is it going to make? How's it going to make life better to know all this stuff?
It put things in perspective. It helps you, like, I don't know, you can easily get lost in a daily life or whatever is happening around you, and it can affect you deeply. But if you have a understanding of how things work, at least to some level, then you're like, okay, whatever, it's just part of this whole thing going around.
Yeah.
And I'm just part of it. It's not like, it's not all about me, and it's not everything against me or me against the world. It's not like that. And I think at the end of the day, if we all have that perspective, we're going to be a lot more peaceful, a lot more loving and caring.
Brilliant.
Like, because people think like they're the main character and everybody else is like extras in their movie. And some like horrible people do that. And if you have the power and money and have that type of understanding, then you do crazy shit. Like you buy Twitter and like make it your own thing. Like if you create an account, like you have to follow Elon Musk on it. It's already the default.
Yeah.
It happened to me. I don't know if it happened to any account, any new account. But so then it's not, because I watched this new TV show called Paradise. And I'm on episode 2, so I don't know the premise of the whole show. But It just shows like a billionaire here in the like a global warming or global catastrophe speech, and decided to create a underground city under a mountain. And I don't know, like if a global catastrophe happens already or whatever, but they live there. So, but if you have that, if you're not all right up here, have good set of values and like a morals and like understanding of what is it that you're experiencing, what is this reality, what's the point of it, good worldview. And if you have shitload of money and shitload of power and influence, then you're gonna do crazy fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And we go around and wonder like why the world is fucked up. And at some point I'm like, okay, how do you gain that billions or power or influence? And then it goes back, it's a fucking cycle of shit. Like you go back to like, okay, yeah, you have to sell your soul. Sell your soul to these entities, these forces that are orchestrating this bullshit for us. And I'm sure there are good forces and like benevolent forces that try to help us out and try to get us out of this destructive cycle. But
we're back at yin yang at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And until we need to have a self-realizations about all this stuff. And we don't need to, we should stop being afraid of knowing. So no, I don't want to know. I have my life, I have my personal life, whatever. I believe in my Jesus, and that's all I need. This is my savior. And it's like, yeah, but Jesus was one of the guy that actually supposedly like have that awakening moment and try to just spread it around. Like, okay, you are God. You need to. It's inside you, and the message got screwed with, and they create the whole religion and whole shit out of it that wasn't at all his intention.
No, I'm sure it wasn't. Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like if you have that self-realization, if you understand your place and know what's happening, however scary, however unpleasant to know, you shouldn't be scared. You should understand it, and you should work towards, like, if we change what's within us, that's the big change that we want to see.
Oh, yes, you got it, dude.
And that's the thing they cannot fucking control.
No.
That's all.
No.
They cannot control that. They cannot control what's happening within you. They can influence it. They can influence it, definitely, and they are. They are influencing it. But they cannot fucking control it. And that's the power you have as an individual. So, I said too much.
No, that's just brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, okay.
I really like your closing remarks there. Of anything I think we've covered in any podcast, I think that's, for me, the most important and profound thing. Our own self-evolution and growth, and realizing that is not just us, but what we do reflects in the whole cosmos.
Yeah, because whenever you watch news and everything, or follow politics or politicians or whatever, or take side, left, right, middle, center, whatever, it just takes away the power.
Yes.
It's like you submitting your power to...
Yeah.
I don't know, an ideology or a group of people that you hope they have their best intention in their hearts. Like they have they do it for your sake, but they're not doing it for your sake. They have their own agendas, and you get played. So start shifting your focus
inside.
Look inward.
Yes.
Stop looking outward. Look inward, and you're going to see the change that you want to see in the world if you change what's happening within you.
And the thing is, that's what we're here to do anyway. So we should just get on and do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's number one. Learn and grow.
Get the power back in your hands.
Yes.
Instead of submitting it to someone else.
Yes.
Okay, let's end on that.
Bravo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mani.
Thank you guys for watching. Comment. Let us know if you agree with what we say here. And see you next time.
Next time.
Thank you.